rethinking the puzzle of reality, and eventually leading to even asking the question about soul communication. It's real. Doctor is operating on a patient. Chemically, he's out. Perhaps his heart has been removed and is pumping separately, and a machine is keeping him alive. But his life essence is hovering above the operating table, watching it all. And some have reported it and some have not, because they don't have the allowance of soul communication. There is so much here, and some of it is very provable. With time, and these things start opening up, you're going to have to give allowance to an entire set of new concepts about life. And one of them will be this: life is eternal. Separated from corporeal, consciousness is forever. When the earth starts to look at that and discover that, it will turn the corner of all spiritual belief. How far away is that? Far, far away. Don't worry about it. You'll be there. Don't worry about it. You'll be there. Don't put a time limit when you're going to be there. And the issues will be the same, except the next time you awaken, dear one, in this life, you're going to remember who you are. Much grander than you have this time. And it won't happen later in life. It'll happen right away. And we talk about blocks. We talk about filters. The main block to allowance, to you feeling this or believing it, is tradition, what you've been taught. What you have been taught holds an energy over you, where you have to rethink something that to you has been sacred and precious, because the authority, whatever that means to you, has taught it to you. Is it parents? Is it school? Is it teachers? Is it those you love and admire and adore? And when you do, you think that they have the absolute truth. It is not a judgment or a mistake to tell you they don't. They had the best they had with an old energy on this planet. They taught you the most that they knew. And here you are, learning something that's even newer. How do you get through that? The answer is this: you've got to suspend that which you have been taught and give allowance for something different. Some never get through that. They cannot. And it remains what we have called a block. Now, if you can get through some of it and not others, let us say, for instance, that what you have been taught fights with one or two aspects of the esoteric system that we have been describing the last 2 days, but you're open to others. Is that too difficult for you to believe? No. Your human psyche is compartmentalized. And so you may be wide open to one kind of thing, and yet another you're still undecided. That is a filter. Now, how does a filter then change your life? What happens is it keeps you from seeing those aspects properly or in the truth that they are, but gives allowance to the other things. And so you might say it skews what you do and how you do it. I think it is best seen, dear ones, in healers, psychics, and channelers. Things they cannot do or will not do or cannot understand, things that they are good at, things they are bad at. That's the filter. A channeler, for instance, who will sit before you and you will feel that they have good and real information in certain areas, but other areas they don't. They will give you future messages. Messages about that which is your future. And then they won't happen. They will give you time and date, and they won't happen. And what would you think about a channeler like that? You would think, well, maybe they're not channeling. What if I told you they were? But they've got a filter. And the filter is this, that they have been taught that the future is going to be filled with doom. And it's hard for them to shake that. So they'll give you channeling, but in the process they will go out and look at the potentials of what's going to happen on this planet. And let me be clear, there are a lot of potentials, and there's weak ones and strong ones. The strongest one is that you are cleaning things up, the new energy is upon you, and you are headed toward a peaceful planet. That is the majority potential. That's why I'm here. I hope you get that clear. But it doesn't mean that there are no other potentials. There are some potentials that probably will not happen in 1,000,000 years. They are old potentials, but they're still there. And the channeler will go and see them and never see the bigger picture, because the filter is doom and gloom. And they will come back and give you doom and gloom. That's a filter. What's another filter? Well, now we're going to touch home. If I started asking you questions personally, I know you. Do you believe this is real? Yes, I do. Dear ones, do you believe you have an Akash that has multiple past lives? Yes, I do. That's pretty good. You're giving allowance, are you not? You're starting soul communication. Dear ones, are you ready to go to the next level? Yes, I am. And then you proceed. And the first thing that starts to happen is your pineal ramps up to give you wonderful intuitive thought, and the filter kicks in. And the filter is this: you don't deserve it. Why is it that humanity will look at a master's life, and then instead of listening to what the master taught them, they will somehow decide that in order to worship and honor the master, they have to emulate the suffering that the master went through? That's a filter. Do you see it? And so what you have built around the love of God is you must suffer. And that doesn't make any sense. It's a filter. Some of it right, some of it not. And you can tell. This is not judgment, dear ones. This is simply stating the way things work. Humanity looks at certain things without the structure or the knowledge or the wisdom truly of what it means, how to grasp it, or what to do with it. So the best thing I can give you to eliminate the filter is forget everything you were ever taught. Forget it and start over. And the first thing I want you to do is to sit there alone and ask the question, am I loved? And let us take your hand and go from there. Let's go to kindergarten and start with that one, dear old soul. And the blocks will start to disappear, and the intellect will get out of the way. In order to give you this message, my partner had to learn to cast off the filters. And they were strong. And the filters told him, this is not the way it could be. Scientifically, it doesn't make sense. In 3D, things don't work this way. You're pretending to channel. Filters. And slowly, they were removed. The biggest one, lack of self-worth. My partner says if I open my mouth, I'm going to make a fool of myself. Well, he did. And he got over it. And it got better. And it got better. You know how we got to him? We got to him through his heart. And then he had to weigh the difference between his brain and his heart won. And that is the invitation. Now you know the rules. We're there. You know the blocks. Tradition. Past teaching. Old energy thought. There is no judgment to what you didn't know based upon an old energy that never let you know it. How could we ever be in judgment at all of a human being for what you are and what you do? How could we ever blame you for not seeing light when you were in a dark room? This is not a message where we're telling you you were wrong and now you're right. This is a message that says you were in the dark and now the light is being turned on. Oh, so this is what you do. You carry light. You may have to start over. Healer, you hearing this? I know who's here. You want to know why it's not working? I know who's here. Because the old energy had you doing things that you're not supposed to do now. Oh, you can continue it. It's not about shoulds, but we want you to do it with results. We want to double it, triple it. Listen to this and don't misinterpret it. You don't have to be poor to know God. Are you all right with that? You can earn a living and stand tall and say, I'm a healer, I'm a psychic. Any of those things. And you can have an energy exchange, whether it's barter or whether it's legal tender for your services. And who told you you couldn't? Tradition. If it's spiritual, it's supposed to be free. Well, this is free, and for those who are listening to this for free, are you feeling the energy? Are you getting the message? Those who offer services can charge, just like any other services on this planet. And it's appropriate, and there's integrity in it. Let the messages be free. Let this energy be free. These are the instructions that I've even given to my partner to know the difference, what to charge for and what not to charge for. And I can give you this information because it's part of the new energy when we're talking practical things. And you need to know, to demystify. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to be poor. You can stand tall. Old soul, it's time to join the rest of this planet. And be balanced. Let them see your balance. We've said that before. Eliminate these blocks, these filters, and these things which would stand in the way of our hand out to you. You take the hand of Spirit, your higher self starts to talk to you. It's going to give you information that's going to give you extended life and health. You won't have to worry about survival. If you stop the blocks and open the filters. That's the message of today. but it's also the message of yesterday and tomorrow. Because there's so many of you need to hear it many times. Now I know who is here. I know who listens and who reads and who watches. So I know the stubbornness of the human brain. So I'll say, if not this lifetime, the next. We're very patient. And so is the earth. There may be hiccups along the way, dear ones. There will be those of you who will think perhaps civilization is going backwards. Because when you recalibrate an entire earth and you recalibrate consciousness, there will be a lot of those who go into frustration because the old energy doesn't work anymore. And you're going to be splits. You're going to see splits in everything, even the New Age. I've told you that. This message will not sit well with those who are invested in tradition. Given in love this day. Weigh it for what it is. See the truth in where it's going. And so it is.